Now, gender-based discussions seem to have become the toast of controversial debaters, but how far have we actually come as a country in terms of bridging that gap between genders? In the midst of cultural and religious positions on the matter, I wonder exactly what has been achieved. And so it's good we have in the studio today one of the loudest voices in gender advocacy, and I say that with love. It's Oheneyere Anti who joins us. How nice to see you once again.
It's good to see you, because it's been a while.
Indeed, indeed, and no doubt the fight, the battle for gender equality is continuing. But where are we really?
Where are we? That's the question. In terms of making an impact, raising awareness, getting people to get involved, both male and female, knowing that there's a group of young people also taking up after the generation before me and my generation. We've come a long way in terms of women knowing their rights, knowing that they deserve to sit at the table. They know that they deserve to aim higher and go after their own goals. We've come very far. But when it comes to institutions that have to work to make this possible, we still have a long way to go. I don't know why some of our institutions are still refusing to understand where we are coming from. Our laws are still very stifling. Traditions, even religious. That this morning I was listening to Uncle Ibo on the Super Morning Show, talking about marriages, and and somebody calls, and I think Enimwa made a comment about this is afternoon, so I can talk about it, when it comes to sex in marriage, where some men think that it is their right. As a woman, it is your duty. And I think even you have done a story where a woman has been killed just because she refused to give sex to her husband. And she'll be killed. If she's not lucky, her child is also killed as well. So institutions are not working, and governments are not also paying much attention. They are not putting their money where they seem to shout loudest when it comes to gender issues.
Right. Now, speaking of the conversation, where at least you seem to recognize some progress.
Yeah.
Even there, how useful has the dialogue been? Not so long ago, it almost turned into an all-out war between groups, forming and naming themselves along one line or the other, and then there was pepper them and sugar them, and all other condiments were lining up to name themselves in this battle. But so in terms of the dialogue, yes, perhaps more people are speaking, but has there been a benefit of the extra voices?
Yes, the fact that we have people competing, people finding their level, finding where they will find their feet, where they think they fall within when it comes to gender empowerment. It tells us that we've come a long way. There's something called multiple identities, not where, bipolar kind of, but where you are coming from, how you were raised, and your religious background, and so many, your educational background also goes into how you perceive life. This whole battle empowerment thing started on a war path. It's settled. We all tried to find our feet. It seemed to have gone down a bit. Now there's a young generation that have gotten involved. They are also trying to find where they fit. For me, Pepperdam think that they what I see is that they are attacking it from the institutional point of view. Sugar them also seem to think that, okay, let's look at the human relationship angle, where we don't have to fight the men, or so we have to coerce them, we have to talk to them, we have to be gentle to let them see where we are coming from. Everybody is approaching it from a different angle. It's all about women empowerment, women finding their feet, women knowing that we have a place at the table. So I am not worried about it at all. I believe in getting my hands dirty. I think I've talked enough. So I've gotten to a point where I act. If I can raise funds to support the woman who's been abused, if I can find her shelter at ARC Foundation, if I can get her a legal assistance, I do that. We will all get there. Let's all approach it from a different angle, but all aimed at making sure women are empowered.
Right now, the battle for equality rages on, and you are indeed one of its biggest generals. So once you've identified one of the weak spots, which is the institutional reaction to the awareness, what's your strategy? What do you plan to do, or what can you do about it?
My program standpoint is 10 years, and after 10 years, we've decided to, tweak it a bit. This time, we're going to move out. We are going to organize seminars. We are going to go to the tertiary institutions and secondary schools to actually educate people, because I think that at a point everybody got a bit confused. So we have designed a program aimed at demystifying feminism. But thankfully, we are working with DOFSU. We are working with the police. Quite recently, I went to the Police Ladies Association, had a talk with them. They invited me, the Greater Accra. I went to have a talk with them. So we are aiming at the institution, talking to them, letting them understand where we are coming from. So gradually, I'm not the only one doing. The other institution, AWDF, the ARC Foundation, WISE, they are also working with different groupings. And hopefully the human beings will go, because sometimes it's not so much as the law or the institution, but who is heading it and how he or she understands the issues involved. That is what affects. If you have an IGP who believes that women are nothing, then you have a very weak DOFSU. But if you have an IGP who believes that women have a place, women have a right, women are human beings, women deserve to be treated right, then he is going to make sure DOFSU is strengthened, given all the tools that it needs to work. You go to Tesano here. Quite recently, I had a young girl who had apparently been kidnapped, quote unquote, not really. And she came to me for money. I called her parents, and apparently she'd been missing for over 1.5 years. Her parent didn't know, where she was. And meanwhile, all the time she was living in Ashaiman with a boy. He met on Facebook. Somehow she found her way to me. I couldn't take her home. I have nowhere to put her. I called DOFSU, the national coordinator, linked me up with the Tesano. Tesano didn't have anywhere. No room, DOFSU, to keep her overnight. Wow. So they had to create a room in somebody's office at Tesano police station for her to sleep. And the father had to come in fact at dawn, to come and pick her up. Why is this?
Clearly an uphill task. And
I'm telling you.
I wish you progress. But I was going to make a big funfair about it. Standpoint at 10.
Yes.
You've done this for 10 years now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I know, right?
How are you commemorating?
Oh, big time. We started on 23rd of June, and we had a car wash, raised funds for the Girl in Aid Foundation, which is a baby of the Standpoint. And then on the 11th of July, which was the actual anniversary date, we had health screening exercise for Kayaye and their children. And then we fed over 2,000 Kayaye and their children at only 2 markets, two, Tema Station Market and Agbobulushi Market. You can imagine if we had added Mokola and the other place. That should tell you the number of young girls sleeping rough, 16 years and below, Ghana, which we have signed all the conventions and whatever it is. Anyway, that's another thing to talk about, but that's what we did. Tomorrow, Saturday, in fact, we are starting tonight with Adum Praise, Yekohim.
That's right.
Yes, from there, tomorrow, 12 noon, we are going to continue. This weekend is all about worshiping God at Trinity Baptist Church, which is opposite UPSA, former IPS. 12 noon. It's free of charge. Come. We are going to have a wonderful worship. We have an amazing preacher known as Reverend Dr. Frank Ofuswapia. His nickname is the Ambassador of Hope. Amazing. And our theme is A Grateful Heart. 10 years, Nyamia Ibi. Nyamia Ibi. Inti yes, ye kakade, yesumo. Nana Fain Adum Praise. Dana Hamilton will be singing Monio. Yeah, that's my favorite song. So tomorrow we are singing Monio. Thank you to God for all that he's done and bringing us far. And on the 15th of September, we are having a Muslim Women's Conference. That will be our 6th edition of the Muslim Women's Conference. Our theme is the Muslim Woman on the Move. We are going to, because this movement is all about women. Women are not being abused because they are Christians or Muslims or Hindus or what have you. It's simply because they are women. So we want to look at the Muslim woman on the move. How can you maintain your identity as a Muslim woman, stick to the dictates of your religion, your culture, whatever it is, and still be part of this global world, still be part of this women movement, still be part of this technological era? So that's what we're going to, and we have an amazing speaker, Hajia Ramatu, who is a lecturer at the University of Ghana and a former member of Council of State. So it's exciting, but tomorrow it's free, 12
Fantastic.
noon.
Fantastic. Well, that's what you should do with your afternoon.
Yes.
And of course, look, if it's not been said to you enough, the philosophers say there's only 1% of the world that we can say this about, that it matters that you were born. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you.
And of course, that's Oheneyere Anti, celebrating 10 years of her hit TV show, The Standpoint, and of course, all the work that it's done to empower women.